0523 or reach them on the web at www.acceleratedgraphics.net. They are loud and proud and want to serve you. Accelerated Graphics.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. 800-597-9323. Call right now. 800-597-9323.
Out-of-date carpet giving you the blues? Tired of your old dingy and broken tile? Let my friends at the Floor Store in Cleveland, Texas give your home the makeover it deserves. This is Old Taco Joe coming to you for the Floor Store. Whether it's carpet, tile, wood flooring, or real wood laminate, the Floor Store can cover all of your flooring needs. Located at 405 West Henderson Street in Cleveland, Texas, owner Brent Harris can help. Shower tile, tub surrounds, even backsplashes. Give them a call today at 817-641-9444. The Floor Store, they got you covered.
The voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio. Welcome to the Her Show, Home Experience Radio, with your host, Trina Titus Lozano. This is a live call-in show that takes your calls and questions about marriage, family, and personal relationships. She's a licensed and ordained pastoral counselor, author, international conference speaker, wife, mom, and grandmother. She's been counseling and teaching vital relationship skills for over 30 years. Trina is real and relational and reveals strong truths spoken in tough love and common sense. Join us on the studio line now at 817-637-2585. And now, here's Trina.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Her Show, Home Experience Radio. That's what that HER stands for. And here I am with you every Monday afternoon in Burleson, Texas. And I'm just celebrating the beautiful weather that we have, the beautiful week that we have. Do y'all know that a new month is such a great time to just get excited about what is happening? Okay, so I'm excited about Thanksgiving. I might be the only one. I think many people have what I'm going to call STD, suffering from skipping Thanksgiving disorder. Okay, skipping Thanksgiving disorder. Okay, do not skip Thanksgiving, y'all. Now, I know many people are already decorating for Christmas, and it certainly seems to be the trend now that on November 1st, people get out their Christmas trees. But I'm going to offer a suggestion. Even as you do that, if that is your thing, don't forget to hype up Thanksgiving. Okay, this is, I believe, really the most, going to say spiritual holiday. This is such an authentic holiday. Having an attitude of gratitude is really going to set the foundation for even entering into the Christmas season. Otherwise, if you don't have this attitude of gratitude, being thankful for what you already have, then all of a sudden you are entering this Christmas season with this greed, really, and this entitlement mentality. And with this, there's so much materialism that is happening. And so we don't want to do that. We want to just appreciate our family. It's just such a pure holiday. It seems like that to me. It just seems like Thanksgiving is a holiday where we have an opportunity to connect with our family and with our friends. It's popular to do a Friendsgiving these days, and I think that is like one of the coolest things ever. And it's just a great idea, right? So, if in addition to your Thanksgiving with your family, if you'd like to do a Friendsgiving earlier that week or the week before, or maybe even the week after, I think it's a great excuse to do something to invite people over. Now, we talk a lot at the home experience about the benefit of having time at the table where you have this eye to eye, face to face experience sitting around a table eating a meal together that doesn't happen any other way. And my mom did some extensive research on this topic many years ago, and so we just encourage people to do this because there's such a special things that happens at the table, and the research shows that it's just sort of magical. They're not really exactly sure what happens at the table, but through our research and through our Bible, we can really see that the reason why it is such a special thing is because really that is where the presence of God is in your home. When we invite him into our home, Jesus is the bread of life, the Bible says. And so it's like we set the presence of the bread of life of Jesus at our table. And there's just this atmosphere of love and peace. And it's just a beautiful thing to experience. So I encourage you to start preparing for Thanksgiving. So today's topic is about preparing our home for the holidays. So what I do looking forward to Thanksgiving first is you need to decide when you will celebrate Thanksgiving. Now, typically we will celebrate on Thanksgiving Day, right? Well, maybe in your family, if you have adult sons and daughters, maybe they're going to be with their in-laws on Thanksgiving Day. So maybe you need to prepare an alternative and have your Thanksgiving either on Wednesday or Friday or Saturday or even Sunday. But sometime this week, whenever you decide that you're going to have your Thanksgiving dinner with your family, put it on the calendar and communicate. Don't assume that everybody just is going to understand that it's going to be on Thursday. Okay, maybe you need to communicate and not only communicate the day, but also communicate the time. So typically we will take a look at the Dallas Cowboys schedule and we will decide that we want to be actually finished with our Thanksgiving meal in time to eat our pie while we are watching the Dallas Cowboys game. So if that is something that you want to think about, I really highly recommend that because you really have to take into consideration the whole day as you're planning the schedule. Okay, the next thing that I want you to do as you prepare for Thanksgiving is count how many people are coming. I always assess the space that I have, and my table seats 18, and then I have another table that seats 6. And so I think about the space that I have, and then I fill in the seats, right? And or you can do the other way around. You can see how many seats you have. Well, that's what I just said, basically. Or the other thing you could do, see how many people you have, excuse me, and then figure out what you need to do to accommodate the people, whether you need extra card tables or extra folding tables. So I figure out the space first based on who has RSVP that they are able to come. And then once you do that, then you begin to take the steps to prepare. Now's the time to prepare for Thanksgiving. Okay, I know a lot of you are decorating for Christmas and things like that, but don't forget to prepare for Thanksgiving first because that's the next holiday that's going to happen. I also want to prepare what dishes I'm going to be using, how I'm going to be setting the table so that I can get what I need to get. And maybe you don't have enough dishes. Maybe you want to borrow some, or maybe you want to ask your grandma if she's got some old china that you can use or that she wants to give you so that you can begin to make it really special. So as you continue to just plan this, even if you're getting chinette, those really nice plastic plates that look like china, it's time to do it, okay? It's time to think about how you're going to set the table. Now, you want to go ahead and also plan your knife, your fork, your spoon. Make sure that you have enough of these things and then get the extra forks for your pie and get the extra plates for your pie plates because at Thanksgiving meal, remember, you have a full table with a full place setting because it's going to be a meal that will have many courses, right? It's got the appetizers and all the food. Anyway, it's a big meal with a lot of food. That's the way that we do it here. And not only plan your place setting, I always start there. Plan the place setting first. Okay. So just to backtrack, plan the people, plan what tables you're going to use, and then plan your place settings. Okay. Now, you want to begin to plan how your table is going to look. So, what tablecloth we'll use. Make sure that you use a tablecloth or placemats or both. Okay. So, whatever you want to get and whatever you need to get, now's the time to make your purchases so you can start putting it together. And I always practice it. I will set the table and say, oh, I want to sort of fill in with this because I want it to be special, right? It's a special occasion. And that's why I wanted to make today's show about this because I want to encourage you that to make a special occasion special, you have to do something special. And it takes planning, it takes being intentional. So now is the time to begin preparing for Thanksgiving. So, okay. So you've got your table ready. What kind of centerpiece are you going to use? As you're choosing the centerpiece, you want to choose something where the centerpiece is low enough that you can still have conversation because this is what we are excited about, okay? It's not just the turkey and dressing and pumpkin pie. We're excited about getting together to have that eye-to-eye, face-to-face conversation. So we don't want the centerpiece to be so big that we're not actually able to see each other. So I try to usually do something that is very low and very pretty, but it's something that we can still have conversation without that being in the way. So plan that. Okay, now we can move on to the menu. So planning your menu for Thanksgiving. If you are the only one doing the cooking, that's going to take more planning. And not only do you plan what you're cooking, but you want to plan the dishes that you're serving in. You want to make sure that you have enough serving utensils, spoons, forks, knives, maybe an electric knife to carve the turkey. You have to go think about it all the way through. And what I will do is I will typically set out whatever serving dishes I will use. So I'll write down my menu and then on sticky notes, I will write a sticky note for the mashed potatoes and the stuffing and the cranberry salad and the lettuce salad and the fruit salad and the sweet potatoes and the green bean casserole. So I set it all out, and what you might see is that you don't have enough. Either you don't have enough serving dishes, or maybe you don't have enough baking dishes to cook everything that you need to cook. So this is something now that you have to prepare in case you need to buy more Pyrex dishes, or in case you need to buy more serving spoons. But this is a time where you want to do this. So I will set things out and I'll put a sticky note in each serving dish to make sure that I have what I need. And sometimes I'll see, whoa, I have pie plates, but I don't have enough pie servers. I might have one pie server, but maybe I need 4 pie servers for 4 different kinds of pies because we'll usually do a pumpkin and a pecan pie and an apple pie. My husband always wants an apple pie too. And sometimes if we decide to go a little overboard, we'll do a cherry pie or a chocolate cream pie or a coconut cream pie and just keep doing extra pies. So whatever you're planning on doing, be sure that you have enough pie servers. Okay. So the Dollar Tree has pie servers for $1 a piece, so it's easy these days to be able to equip yourself with exactly what you're going to need to prepare your meal. Now, if everyone is bringing something, instruct the people who are participating in providing the food for your Thanksgiving dinner to bring it ready to go. Like, for example, instead of just bringing a bag of rolls, that they actually bring the rolls in a basket with a napkin so that they're just ready to serve. Or instead of just, bringing a I'm trying to think. Instead of just bringing the stuff to make a salad, like a bag, where the salad is in a bag, that's a popular thing these days. Instead of just bringing a bag and setting it on the counter, that they would bring the salad in a serving bowl instead of in a bag, and not just have it the lettuce, but go ahead and don't just bring the cucumber that's not already cut up. Make the whole salad, the lettuce, the tomato, the cucumber, the onion, everything that you want to put in the salad, so that it's all put together. It's a difficult thing to have to manage a lot of people in the kitchen all at the same time, and especially at Thanksgiving time, because we end up being short on counter space and short on serving utensils and short on serving dishes. So everybody needs to really think it all the way through. So whatever you are bringing, bring it in a way that you can actually serve it. My daughter-in-law often will bring the green bean casserole. So when you bring that, you want to also bring it with a serving spoon, so it could just be served right out of the dish. So this is just some helpful hints of how to make this Thanksgiving go more smoothly, where you're prepared, you're not stressed out, you're excited about it, and nobody is stressed out, right? Everybody's just excited to eat and to participate in the fun of it. So it does take being intentional. Now, you can do some things like I do to make it slightly easier. And I might order a pie or two from a local bakery, and then that will just sort of supplement. We always do our homemade pies, but sometimes it's hard to make 4 or 5 different kinds. So I'll just purchase a supplement so that everybody has their favorite. So I think that's a good idea. We really, of course, like the homemade pies and the homemade food, but it's okay to supplement. It's okay to buy some pumpkin bread at the local bakery, or it's okay to buy some delicious rolls at the local bakery, so that you don't have to do everything from scratch. You don't have to do everything homemade to make it delicious. And again, as you are thinking about your menu, think of it all the way through. So for example, if you're serving rolls, you want to also prepare the butter, right? The butter dishes and the butter knives and whatever you need to serve the roll with. If you're serving a salad, you want to also remember, get the salad dressing, so you think all the way through the entire menu. I know a lot of people make Thanksgiving dinner, but oftentimes it's their first time to even have guests over. So I encourage you, if you're not used to having company over and you're thinking, "Oh, I really want to do something for Thanksgiving," go for it. Now is the time. This is it. This is your year to serve Thanksgiving dinner at your house. And if your family can't come, yes, do a Friendsgiving. Invite neighbors, invite other people that don't have a home to go to, that don't have a family to go to. And it doesn't matter. Your place doesn't have to be big, but just don't be alone. Just kind of step up to the plate and say, "I'm going to cook this year." Listen, restaurants are great, but not on Thanksgiving Day. No, Thanksgiving Day is all about being at home, right? We want to be home for the holidays. And so I wanted to take this time to really encourage you guys. Let's prepare our homes for the holidays. Listen, a special occasion doesn't just happen. It happens because we have prepared for it and we have invited people to it. So now's the time. Okay, so in addition to that, I'm always going to buy some candles that will be festive for the occasion. So I'll buy Christmas type candles for the Christmas decorations, but at Thanksgiving time, I'm still buying these more fall scented candles and these candles that are going to go with the Thanksgiving menu, right? So things that are more cinnamon based or pumpkin based, because this is all part of the Thanksgiving menu. And yes, sometimes I will have special drinks that go along with this. And we do not serve alcohol on Thanksgiving, because it's a new meal and there's nobody needs alcohol. We can just all have a great time without it. So we don't serve alcohol, but we will have a large assortment of non-alcoholic beverages, so the kids can drink anything that they want, and the adults can just have a wide variety of whatever type of beverage that they might want. So I stock my little mini fridge, and also you can, whatever refrigerator you have, stock it with drinks so that you can really give your guests an assortment and a variety of drinks. And I like to do things also that could be cranberry juice or apple juice, or a sparkling cider that's a little bit more special for Thanksgiving. I like to do that. Okay, now as we're coming into the thinking through the whole meal, thinking through the entire menu, I always plan also what type of a garnish I want to have on my glass. So on the glass, like to use something that is colorful, that matches my table. So typically I will use maybe orange slices or sometimes frozen cranberries that I can put in the beverage. So it depends on what beverage you're serving. But if I'm just doing water glasses, I would love to put a nice big orange slice on the side of the water glass because it just looks so pretty. It makes the table look beautiful, and then it's festive and it's delicious. It flavors your water too. And then I'll probably do a sparkling cider in an additional glass. Okay, so now that we're thinking about the glasses, what type of glass are you going to need? Well, depends on what type of beverage that you're serving, right? So it's not unusual for me that I will have a large water glass and then maybe a smaller glass that looks more like a champagne glass. Well, if you don't have them, these are available at Party City, in a plastic version that is a great substitute for a glass. And when you set the whole table, it actually looks so nice. And so I might even add, I don't care. I don't care if I add some plastic champagne glasses for our sparkling cider next to the water glass. It's fine with me. Now, I do keep in mind who is sitting where. So if a child is sitting at the spot that I am where at the particular spot, then I will serve a glass that is a child size. Okay. Because we don't want children to have to handle a very large pedestal on a glass, right? Because that's just going to cause them to spill probably. So I keep in mind who is sitting at each spot and sort of arrange where everyone's going to sit so that whatever glass they need is going to be appropriate for them. And some people drink coffee, and so I will always have coffee cups on hand. What I typically do for Thanksgiving is we typically have our coffee with a pie as dessert. So I will just kind of set up a coffee station, and I like to use our fall dishes and our fall china patterns that my grandma has. And so I will set out these fall cups and mugs that match our Thanksgiving table setting. But I just leave that over on the counter because otherwise the table begins to get a little too crowded and everybody doesn't drink coffee. So that way I'm not setting the whole table with coffee cups, but everybody gets a water cup and everybody gets a little champagne glass that has sparkling cider in it, non-alcoholic for our family. But anyway, so as you're thinking about this is what you want to think about, and you do want to keep your guests in mind. So, for example, some guests may be guests that are vegetarian. Some guests may be guests that have no dairy type of preference or need based on their allergies. Some people need no nuts. Some people need no sugar. So keep in mind who your guests are so that you can provide a variety enough that everyone can have a wonderful meal, even if they are dairy free or gluten free or nut free or, uh, whatever that, or maybe they're vegetarian or vegan or whatever. So just keep in mind who your guest is so that you can have enough of a variety that you can just please everyone. I'm sure that I will also make a sugar-free pie because my husband tries to do really low sugar, so I'll probably do that for him as well. Okay, so as you are going through your menu, think about how many people that you have because you may need more than one turkey. At my house, I usually serve about 25 people for Thanksgiving, and that means I'm going to need more than one turkey. Okay, so what I do is I cook my turkey outside of my oven in a turkey roaster. So my roaster is electric. And so it's great because I need my oven space for everything else. So, you've got to plan these things. Otherwise, you want to cook everything all at the same time and you don't have enough oven space, right? So you've got to think it through and be really practical about it. Now, some people will have a smoker or something like that, and they'll be able to cook their turkey that way. If you're cooking your turkey in the oven, cook it first, and it can be done first. And then after it's finished, then you can use your oven to cook your green bean casserole and your sweet potatoes, or, we do like a candied yams type of recipe with walnuts, and so that's what we do. But I need my ovens for that. So, you got to think all this all the way through and see what space you have and see how you're going to manage your space because the space is limited, right? So you've really got to think about that in advance because what do we want? We want all the food to be warm. Okay, so I did something fun this year. Instead of just thinking about our menu, including a turkey, I was talking this through with one of my grandsons, and he mentioned to me that he wanted to try a turducken. Have you guys ever heard of this? Okay, so John Madden ended up making this really popular back in the day. I don't know how many years ago this was, a long time ago. And so he made this really popular. It's out of Louisiana, and these chefs had taken a turkey and then they had stuffed it with a boneless chicken and a boneless duck and like layered the meat and then also with stuffing. And then they put it all together and they called this a turducken. Actually, I think the turkey was boneless too. So it was a boneless turkey, chicken, and duck rolled together with the stuffing and tied together. And so apparently it's delicious. My grandson really was talking it up. So I said, Landon, I'm going to order one. This is going to be a fun thing for Thanksgiving this year. We're going to try something new in addition to our one turkey. So typically I get two turkeys. So this year I got one turkey and one turducken. So we're going to try that out. The turducken is in the freezer right now. I went ahead and ordered it early because if I would wait till the last minute, they would be sold out. So I'm already thinking ahead, and that's why I wanted to really put the bug in your ear today to begin thinking ahead. What do your holidays look like? And who's coming? What do you need to get? What needs to be ordered in advance? Also, last year I learned from my mistake. I went to our local pie bakery and I went on Thanksgiving that the day before Thanksgiving. And I just thought, "Oh, I'm just gonna grab one more pie, right?" And I walk in, they say, "Sorry, we don't have any available." You had to order them in advance. And I was like, "What?" I mean, I just assumed that they would have made plenty so people could walk in, right? Well, wrong. They weren't able to do that. So, but I made a mental note. And so this year I actually already went in and ordered a pie from them. So, or 2 pies actually. And so I got a chocolate pie from them and a cherry pie. No, I think it was apple. I don't remember, one of the 2. But anyway, so I was able to do that early enough this year. So now's the time if you wanna supplement by using a local bakery, now's the time to get your order in because Thanksgiving will be here before you know it, okay? It's the countdown time for Thanksgiving, so it's for sure time to start preparing and for sure start to prepare your plan, whatever your plan is. Now is the time to do it. Okay, the other thing that I think is important to do is begin clearing things out that you'll need to clear out to create space. So to create space for extra people for Thanksgiving, extra people for Christmas, you've got to clear the space a little bit. So really eliminate the clutter. And I don't mind taking to my garage furniture, even if I have to. I will take furniture to clear the space to make, like for example, if I need to take out a anything, a couch, a chair, a love seat, a whatever is in the way to be able to make room for another table, I'll do it. If I need to take my decorations out of my entryway so that I can use my entryway for another table, I'll do it. So now's the time. Think about your space, and if you need to move some of your usual furniture, then move it. I've in the past taken things to my bedroom, taken things to the other bedrooms, put things in the hall, whatever I needed to do to make the space that I needed for the company that was coming. So this is the time, clear the space, clear the clutter. And I think it's really best, and I do this myself, is I will take all of the decorations that seem to be just my sort of my usual decorations in my house, and I clear them out and then I replace my fall decorations, which I do usually September 1st. And my decorations stay up through my fall decorations stay up through Thanksgiving. And then I begin my Christmas decorations the day after Thanksgiving. So I know a lot of people are doing early Christmas decorations, but to me, I don't like it because it doesn't match. At least in my house, it doesn't match because my Thanksgiving is such a big holiday for me and it's all the fall colors. And so that doesn't work with red and green. Okay. Now, in the past, I thought, well, I could go ahead and put the trees up with just white lights so that it's not, I'm not quite doing all the red and green and Santas and all that, the Santas and reindeers. I cannot pull any of that out until after Thanksgiving for sure, because to me, it just doesn't match. So I don't like that. But I am considering putting up a tree with just the white lights if I need to, and that'll sort of get me a head start for Christmas. But anyway, think about your guest list. Think about how you can accommodate the people in your life that you want to connect with, and begin planning. This occasion will be so special. You will love it. And then pretty soon it will be a tradition that you want to do year after year after year. And you'll be so proud of yourself. So we'll get started, okay? I'll be right back after the break. I'm Trina. Stick with me.
Let's be honest. Wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair. The world's lightest wheelchair is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. 800-823-5826. That's 800-823-5826.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
You're listening to Joco Community Radio.
Welcome back, everybody. Joco Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 24/7 on the TuneIn Radio Network. TuneInJoco.com is the place to find all the ways to listen and watch, and the station app is also available for free on Android and Apple devices. So simply search your store. Check out our lineup and more at JocoCommunityRadio.com. This episode and more brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. So reach out to your Texas sales rep, Nona Reed, at 844 Text HAIL 844-839-4245. Okay, y'all. So I'm encouraging you to begin preparing for Thanksgiving. In addition to preparing your home and your table and your menu and extending the invitation to your friends and family, it's time to really begin to check that attitude. And the stress can oftentimes just really ruin your attitude. So if your stress is creating a problem with your attitude, this is the time where you need to really start being grateful. And this is the most amazing thing about this month is people tend to be more aware of having an attitude of gratitude. Tiffany, that owns the station here, she's always commenting about this, and I think it is such a good reminder. So remember, your attitude is what makes the difference. What is the point of having a delicious meal or a beautiful home or a beautiful table if your attitude is stressed out, if your attitude is bitter or angry or arguing or complaining or thinking of all the things that you don't have, thinking of all the negative things? No. That will never work. Your attitude is what sets the atmosphere. More than anything, it is your attitude that sets the atmosphere. So check your attitude, check it now. And every single thing that is negative in your mind towards your friends and family, now's the time to say, I'm going to change the way I think. I'm going to change the way I think. Yes, this person might not be my favorite to hang out with all day, every day, but you know what? Once a year, I can do it. And I need to think about the good things about this particular relative that may be a little more difficult to get along with, right? Okay, so people can be difficult, but even when there's might be a difficult person that is part of your guest list, prepare yourself to welcome them. Prepare yourself to be seriously, prepare yourself by thinking positively about them now. Find something good that you can think about now. Otherwise, the dread of having them over, I don't know if it's your mother-in-law or your sister-in-law or your brother-in-law, or a crazy uncle or who it is. But I know that there's more than likely one person that just sort of rubs you the wrong way. That one person that you can just count on to kind of ruin things, but don't let them ruin things for you. Okay. Like, now's the time to check your attitude and begin to be grateful for everyone in your family, even the difficult people. My grandma says, it's okay for people to be wrong. We have to let people be wrong. And I think we let it just bother us too much if someone in our family is wrong or if someone in our family is difficult. This is the day that you're going to be grateful for everyone no matter what. And just find it in your heart to be generous in your gracious attitude towards everyone that is on your guest list, okay? Because we all know that there are people that might be on your guest list that are not your favorite to be here, but because it's the holidays, we want to extend the invitation. So change your attitude now, and that's a way to begin to prepare your heart to receive people in your home, and prepare your attitude so that there will be gratitude. And we always have a little tradition that as people come, we tell them to be sure to prepare themselves to share around the table, and everyone goes around the table and takes turns telling everybody else what they are grateful for. And one year we all even prepared notes, and we brought notes to exchange, and the notes were all notes of gratitude for every member of the family. And so that was just a neat thing that we did one year, where we exchanged all of these sort of love notes in a way of just being grateful for our family members. These things are little, but they're really big. The little things are the big things. So, is it possible to go through this Thanksgiving season without stress? Absolutely, it's possible. Absolutely, it's possible. It is just a matter of plan it and do things one thing at a time so you enjoy it. I enjoy it. I so enjoy it. And it is not stressful. Is it busy sometimes? Absolutely. Stressful? No way. It's just fun. So it's an attitude. Now, if you have the attitude of, oh my gosh, this is so stressful. I told one of my clients at one point, the more you say how stressed out you are, the more stressed out you're getting. What if you just replace that phrase and said, I'm too blessed to be stressed? Or I'm busy, but I can handle this. We really have to watch what we're saying, because what we're saying really impacts the atmosphere, right? And it impacts us more than anyone else. So be careful what you're telling yourself, okay? You can handle this, and I promise you it will be worth it. Okay, so this radio show is not just for women, it's also for men. Now, men, you can really take as much lead as you want to based on your talent, your personality, your hobbies, your interests. If you love to cook, well, then take all of these tips and advice that I've given you and begin to prepare for Thanksgiving. Do it. Take the reins and really begin to prepare. Don't do it alone, because it's really great if you want to take, the driver's seat to think about what you want to prepare. If you're a man that loves cooking, let your wife be your assistant so that she's involved, because maybe she's going to want to join in with you, or maybe she'll be the one going to the grocery store. But think about the teamwork approach, whether you're in the driver's seat of doing the cooking or you're the assistant. But it's really great to take this teamwork approach. My husband has his task that he does every year. He always peels the potatoes, and then he'll mash the potatoes while I'm doing other things. So basically, he makes the mashed potatoes, and he always carves the turkey. He's got his jobs that he does, and I have my jobs that I do, and everyone has their jobs that they do. My grandma and my mom bake all the pies, and my daughters and daughter-in-law have things that they contribute to. So, plan it out, but just think about if you're in the driver's seat or the assistant, because if you just really need to stay in your lane, you need to know your place. Otherwise, what can happen is if you're not communicating about it, then it's not unusual that you might be tripping over each other, or that both of you drops the ball. And before you know it, okay, wait, nobody set out the turkey to thaw. It's like, uh-oh, now we have a frozen turkey and not enough time to cook it. So you really have to figure out, okay, who's going to be in the driver's seat, who's going to take the responsibility to get us to where we need to go, right? And so communicate about that now, communicate about that in advance, and begin to prepare your heart and your attitude. Now, if you would like to join the conversation today, if you have any tips you would like to add, or if you have any questions for me, feel free to give me a call at 817-637-2585, and I am so happy to help you. It would be great to have you call. So yes, 817-637-2585, and I'd be happy to help. So however you need, whatever you need, I'm happy to help you with. Okay, so I have a question here about a father-in-law. How do I handle my father-in-law who tries to dictate how we plan our holidays? Well, that's the thing. When it's your father-in-law, if he has more of a dictator type personality, this is something that, he's going to probably have a hard time being at your house if he wants to be the dictator. Maybe he wants it to be, his house. So he wants to dictate where everybody goes and what everybody does. And this is just something that you just can't allow. So you talk to your husband about it, and you have to really understand that there has to be communication. There has to be boundaries, because he for certainly isn't he just, you can't, you can honor him, but you don't have to obey him, because he just doesn't have the authority in your life. Okay. So you and your husband have a talk with him about how you can honor him and how you can hear him and what he wants. And then you simply tell him yes or no. Yeah, Dad, we can do that. Or, hey, Dad, we're just not going to be able to do that this year. Maybe in the future we can. But don't be afraid of him just because he seems intimidating, just because he could be a bully sometimes, just because he acts like a dictator. Don't be intimidated by him. Tell him your plans. Tell him graciously, and then stick to your plan, whatever your plan is. So, all right. Oh, I do have a caller on the line. So, hi, I'm Trina. Welcome to the Her Show. How can I help?
Hi, Trina.
Hi.
My name is Esther. How are you?
Good.
Trina, I have a question. My husband and I, we come from generations that we don't have actually traditions. And I heard you talking about traditions, and I know that that's something very important to create this atmosphere of identity and unity. And how can we start doing it? So how did you do it?
Well, that's a great question. Something becomes a tradition because it's done over and over and over again, right? And so
Yes.
if you don't have a tradition because your family did not raise you in a culture of tradition, then it is something that you have to begin. Well, there are some traditions that you might want to do that are historically something that you just are interested in, okay? And there's other things that you may not want to do because it just doesn't line up with your preferences. So you guys have a talk about it, and then once you decide to do it, that's where the commitment comes in, because the tradition is actually formed through a commitment to do it year after year after year, right? And you can
Right.
always add to it, but the tradition happens as a result of the repetitive nature of it. But it's now is a good time to begin researching and thinking, oh, let's get some ideas of what do we want to do the this first time so that we can do it again next year, and we can begin creating a tradition out of it. And it really does become a commitment to each other. It's very intentional to do this. So what type of tradition do you think that you would like to begin with your family?
I mean, I have heard family that have these kind of traditions that, okay, we all the time for Thanksgiving, we invite like a new person over and we, for example, share about Jesus, or we share how thankful we are, things like this. But I was wondering, is something spontaneous that just we see what can we do, or we can just research or see examples? So that was
Yeah,
my
it's
question.
it really is. It's a combination. I think that if it's going to become a tradition, it really works best to plan it out and to talk about it so that so you know what you're trying to accomplish. And some people just want to accomplish family closeness. So for example, they won't consider that Thanksgiving or Christmas is necessarily a time to invite lots of friends, because they said, "No, let's just have a family tradition where it's just our family." Other people will say, "Oh no, let's make it a tradition that we always invite, the
Yeah.
homeless." Or some people have a tradition that every Thanksgiving day they actually go do like a turkey trot marathon together as a family, and then they come back and cook their big meal. So they make that part of their tradition because they're a family that likes to run. Other people make it a part of their tradition, of course, like to go to church. Like, for example,
Yeah.
my husband's family, every New Year, every Christmas Eve, they would go to church and then come home and open gifts after church. So be intentional about what you're trying to accomplish and plan it out. And then sometimes something spontaneous will sort of happen and you'll think, "Oh, that's great. I want to do this. Let's do this year after year." So we're trying something new this year. We are adding to our Thanksgiving menu. And we do a traditional American Thanksgiving meal. Well, we're adding this new turducken that my grandson had heard about. So we're adding
Yeah.
something else. Well, if we like it, and if everybody likes it, then we can do that again for several years, and then it will become a new tradition. So, yeah, it's just something that it's okay to be flexible with. But what you do is you decide what your values are, and then
Yeah.
based on your values, you make a commitment to create tradition. So it always comes out of the values. For example, if your value um, is the Bible and
Yeah.
family time and God. So if these are your priorities and this is your values, then you could look up scriptures and the kids can pick out scriptures that they want to read. So around the Thanksgiving table, everybody goes around and reads a scripture about, that has to do with Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Or they could write notes to each other about what they're thankful for, or we could each go around the table and say what we're thankful for, things like this. So the tradition can be with food, it can be things that are relational, it can be with things that support your faith, and how you want to incorporate your faith and your spiritual traditions along with your family traditions. So yeah, you just think about the values that you want to create and then begin doing it, and then you'll see what works and what doesn't really work, and you'll go, "Oh, that was okay, but maybe we don't have to do that every single year," right? I remember one year, uh, Thanksgiving menu was always sort of set, and my mom always did turkey at Thanksgiving, and then her tradition was, well, she actually picked up my dad's family tradition, which was to have ham at Christmas time. So, turkey at Thanksgiving, ham at Christmas. Well, my mom's family always did turkey and ham for both holidays. So, you sort of had either, but it was almost the exact same menu for the Thanksgiving meal and the Christmas meal. And so it was pretty much the same menu. Well, my dad's family did this different. Well, then my mom added this cherry sauce. So every Christmas, she would make ham with this homemade cherry sauce, and instead of doing mashed potatoes, she would do twice baked potatoes. So then that became a tradition, and we all loved it. Well, one year, my husband said, "You know, I think we should just have steaks this year for Christmas. So we're like, okay, that's okay. We can have steak for Christmas instead of ham and cherry sauce. We'll do steaks. But then we did the steaks and we were like, no, we really missed the ham and cherry sauce. So then we're like, no, we're gonna go back to our other thing, So it can be kind of flexible, and you'll find things that really work and that everybody loves, and then things that are like, maybe not so much. But it's really fun to create. And Esther, tell me about your children. How old are they?
Oh, how old?
Uh-huh.
They are 9 years old, 7, and 2 years old. I have told her.
9, 7, and 2. Oh wow, those are great ages. So for your 9 and your 7-year-old, they're the reading age, so they can find the scriptures that they want to read at the table. Maybe you'll have a thing. I used to do this for my kids and then for my grandkids, where I would have like a special craft for them to do, so that while I'm cooking, because I'm in the kitchen all morning, they have to have something to do, right? And I wanted it to be festive.
Okay.
So I would plan a craft that was all about the theme of the holiday. And it was just me planning so that it gave them something to work on really while I was busy in the kitchen. But they have all kinds of things these days where they have like these tablecloths that the kids can color, or they have like these cardboard playhouses that the kids can color, and you can build a playhouse and they can color on it, and or write their Thanksgiving scriptures, whatever it is. I just love the holiday theme activities, and then that becomes a tradition. Even movies can become a tradition. We
Yes.
oh yeah, like there's the Thanksgiving Charlie Brown, or there's I think a Thanksgiving Veggie Tales that we used to watch. And this is a family tradition. The night of Thanksgiving for our family, after dinner, after the football game, later in that evening, we watch a movie called Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So I don't know if you've ever heard of this movie.
Oh,
Have you ever heard of that? So
yes.
it's a movie. Did you ever see it?
Yes, I have
Yeah.
seen it.
Okay, so it's so funny with John
Yeah.
Candy and it's just Steve Martin. It's such a great movie, and it is so funny. But the movie itself takes place at Thanksgiving time,
Mhm.
so that even everything supports the theme, and every single year. Now this has been going on for 35 years, like literally every single year, even before our kids were too little to join us. My husband and I would watch this movie, and then as the adults would watch it, and then as the kids got older, they could join us too, because it's a family friendly movie. But so every year, we watch this movie. We know every line in the whole movie, but this just adds to the bonding. It adds to the holiday, and it all supports the theme and always supports the values. Because what is the value is the togetherness, right?
Yes. Right.
Exactly. So everything that you're doing supports the values. But, when you're planning your day and you're thinking about your day and you're planning your tradition, think about things
Mhm.
that are sustainable. Because I think if things are too difficult, that is
Mhm.
what makes it hard to maintain.
That's true.
Yeah, like some recipes are just really, really hard. And if they're really
Yes.
hard and they're really time consuming, that might be a difficult tradition to maintain. Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not, maybe it's difficult, but you do it just because it's worth it, because your mom and your grandma and your great grandma did it right. My mom and my grandma make this cranberry salad that is, in my opinion, really difficult. So they don't think it's difficult. It's easy for them, but for me, it's just a lot of chopping. Okay, there's a lot of chopping, and I'm not such a great chopper that they are. Don't quite have the patience for that. But they always make it. Either my mom or my grandma makes it. Well, after my mom and my grandma, go to heaven as God sees fit. At some point, my grandma's going to turn 100 next year. So I don't know how many years she's going to be able to make this cranberry salad. Am I going to continue to make the cranberry salad as I become, the elder grandmother in our family? Probably not. It's just too hard for me. I have the recipe. My daughters might like to do it. Even my granddaughters might like to do it. For me personally, it's too hard. And so I'll find something else that's simpler. So, you just got to make it your own, make it work however it works for you.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. So what are your
Well,
Thanksgiving plans?
I can't hear you
Oh,
right now.
oh,
Are you there?
yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, what are your Thanksgiving plans this year?
Well, so we are a family from Venezuela, so our parents are not here. So normally we have friends over, But this year we want to start doing something just us, with our children, and doing like traditions. For that reason, I'm asking you, because we want to try to start over and start doing something like a family, but it has to be fun for them.
Yes.
And most of the time with people here, we focus on serving them, and so children are not like apart. So we want to focus on them now, and we want to start doing fun things for them. So for that reason, I'm asking you.
Yes, I love that.
I...
Now, is there anything, since this is an American tradition, is there anything, any sort of recipe or anything from your home country that you want to just incorporate to make it special for your family?
Oh, yes. We have something that we call pabellon. It's a kind of recipe just from Venezuela, and they love it because they love that we have plantain and rice and beef, and they love that kind of food. So we put that, but we have also turkey, because they are growing up in this country, and turkey is so important on the table.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's so wonderful. See, your menu will be all part of the tradition, because your menu incorporates the two different cultures, and that's going to be so wonderful for them. Well, thank you for calling, Esther, and I just am excited about the new traditions that you're going to create. And yes, your kids can get in on the brainstorming, but now's the time to plan, girl. Okay, so now is the time to plan, because it'll be here before we know it. So, all right, well, hey, you have fun. You have fun.
So wonderful show. Thank you for the advice.
You're welcome. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, good for her for just really taking the time to think about what types of traditions they want to incorporate in their family, blending these two cultures from Venezuela and now the American tradition of turkey and dressing and mashed potatoes and cranberry sauce and cranberry salad, sweet potatoes, green bean casserole. I saw a comedian on Instagram the other day, and she's so funny, but she was making a green bean casserole board. So she mixed all the ingredients of the green bean casserole and just dumped it on this, cutting board like a charcuterie board would be, and then she puts around it, crackers and things to go with it. I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, so yes, these are traditional things, and in addition to this, we will make extra things that are special for certain guests that like certain foods. So you have to keep all of this in mind as you are creating your menu. I always do the traditional, and then I expand it and make it extra special depending on who my guests are. So I think that's great. Well, I hope that you guys have been inspired today to really begin to prepare your heart and your mind and your space for your Thanksgiving holiday. Clean out your refrigerator. Okay, now's the time to really clean it out good. Clean out your freezer. There might be things that have just been in your freezer taking up space for literally years, right? My granddaughter pulled out a popsicle that was, I don't know, it did not look very appetizing, but it was a bomb pop. So I'm sure it was left over from the 4th of July. And I rinsed it off and she ate it. But, it's like, oh, my freezer is full of some things that don't look too appetizing anymore. I've got to do a little bit of a clean out with my freezer and my refrigerator to begin to prepare to make the space for the groceries, right? And you guys, the budget this year is going to be affected because inflation has really hit us hard. Groceries cost more than we've ever paid before. So I just want to tell you, think about that, really. So it doesn't catch you off guard that your groceries are going to cost you probably twice as much as they did last year. And, it is what it is. So maybe you need to invite more people to participate and bring up potluck. If you've tried to do everything in the past on your own, maybe this is the year to just sort of spread it out and say, okay, you bring this dish and you bring this dish and you bring it all together. And that way it's not such a big burden on any one person, on the host, to prepare financially for it. But I think it's really, really important to take a look at the budget right now. So we're going to prepare for all of these things. And I like to prepare for the whole day from beginning to the end. And so there's never any space or time that we're kind of just wondering what's going to be happening next, whether it's planning the games or just planning to just visit or make s'mores or whatever it is. So now's the time to prepare, you guys. I just hope that you've been inspired today. Thanksgiving is coming up. Okay, don't skip Thanksgiving. Let's begin to prepare and get excited about it. So God bless you guys. I'm Trina. Hugs and high vibes.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County.